Hey YouTube, I'm Tevin, but you guys can call me T. For those who don't know, I work in the food industries. Yes, I'm a chef. I work with three way older people. One is he's 80 years old. The next one I think she's in her 60s, and the next guy he's 50. He's in his 50. And I'm not counting on these individual. I'm not speaking bad about them. I'm using them as an example to help us. Me included in that us. Like I've always looked back and was like, yo, certain jobs can't sustain you long term. Like eventually you're gonna have to leave that job, especially such as the service food industry. Like you can't do that long term unless you're in some high Michelin star restaurant and you're doing some high class stuff and you're a world renowned chef. You can't do those jobs for long term. And this was the first place I went working with like way older people. The first guy I mentioned, I was there the night when it was his 80th birthday. He's a dishwasher. As I said, I'm not bashing these individuals. I'm not talking anything negative about them. The only thing I could think about while I was working with him was, how did you end up in this state where you're working till you're 80? Cause like normally how I grew up in Jamaica, old people they don't work past a certain age unless they're selling in market or they're doing their own thing. They're not working for someone else. And then when I moved here to Canada in 2022, oh, I heard like, oh, at a certain age you retire. So me started working here and then I saw this dishwasher, this old guy. He can barely do stuff. And then I remember working with him on his birthday. And then I went out with one of the managers. I went out with a few coworkers a few nights ago. And me and one of the manager was having a conversation about the lady. The lady does prep. And he's like, yo, she's semi-retired, but she needs this job to pay the bill. That's our next one. And I was thinking she is what mainly inspired me to build this video. Because if it wasn't for the conversation me and the manager had a few days ago, this video wouldn't come to mind. And I'm like, how did you get in this circumstance where you have to work at a Kelsey's to pay the bill? And then the next guy, he's 50. He says he's been in the food industries for over 15 years. And he's only a dishwasher. He doesn't have the skills of a cook, but he's only a dishwasher. So you've been in the food industries for 15 years and you've never actually learned any skills from it. But as I said, I'm not getting into that. The way how I see it, we can't do certain jobs forever. Eventually we're gonna get old, our body's gonna break down. We younger generation, I'm 22, my guy. No one taught us anything about investing. No one taught us anything about how to let our money grow, how to make our money work for us. We were only taught how to work for money. I grew up seeing my mom work every day. As I grew up seeing my mother push herself countless times just for a small amount of paycheck. My mother is the most hardworking person I know. The reason why I'm such a hard worker is because I got that from her. And then when I moved to Canada and I started getting to know my dad, I saw that he is also a hard worker. So I'm like, yo, I got this hardworking mentality from both of them. But even though they have this hardworking mentality, that mentality can bring you so far. Eventually your body will break down. And once I learned the 4 levels of wealth and saw that yo, implementation was the lowest level of wealth, I'm always trying to improve. I'm always trying to get everyone else around me to move away from using their body to using their mind, to communicating, doing something like that, to step up on the ladder. And it all comes back to, oh, you can do this forever. They all say, oh, I'm young, I can put in the work and save. Like, yo, saving won't get you rich. Eventually your body will break down. I might be working so hard today and then I sprain my wrist. Yeah, like I did. I sprained my wrist while I was at the gym and it took me out of commission for a while. Imagine if I became a construction worker and I sprained my wrist. I'll be out for weeks. no money would be coming in. And I'm talking about spraining my wrist, not on the job. If you damage yourself on the job, you're getting paid for it. But off the job, that's it. And I'm like, imagine if you use your mind, you use your imagination to make money. Spraining a wrist, that's fine. You're still able to make money. And when I tell people about this, I remember I told my dad about this. He's looking at me like I'm speaking nonsense. And I said, yo, I want to go to school and study business. Like, oh, it would be best to do construction because AI is not coming and taking the job, which is true, yes. But at the same time too, AI is not going to build a business. Someone will use AI to help them. Someone will implement AI into their business. The older generation all have this mindset that you have to work for money. It's not that money should work for you. And I'm trying to tell people that that doesn't have to be the case. But it's like everyone I know have this same mentality. I'm like, yo, we need to start a business. Find something. There must be something that you're able to do to start a business. Post content. That is one of the easiest thing to do, which is starting a business. Just post content. You're starting a business by doing that. I told my brother to do it and it's like, yeah, no, that was it. And then we had conversation afterwards like, oh, I just need to find a new job. And yo, that always pisses me off. Because instead of saying, oh, find a new job, why not say, oh, I'm thinking about creating this business or creating that business. That's what we should do. But I'm going off topic. We, the younger generation, were never taught anything about money. Going to school every day, we were only taught to work 5 days a week, get 2 days off, and that's it. We were trained to go to work from school days for what, 8-12 hours a day. I've always looked at the comparison like school is work, work is school, but work you get paid for. I've been at work and people is like, yo, I just want to go home. That's how I used to feel going to school. But now that I'm older, I see that, yo, if you don't work, you're not getting paid for it. The same for school, you get knowledge. But hear me out. We should not just rely on work. We should think about building something for ourselves, building something for our future generations. Cause yo, most of the stuff we're doing won't sustain us. Most people live paycheck to paycheck. Most of the younger generation are in so much debt. That's one of the reasons why I decided not to go to college, because I didn't want to be in any debt, in any college debt. And some way I wasn't able to avoid the credit card debt, and I'm working to pay that off. I hate being in debt, but most of us young people were in some form of debt, whether it be student loans, credit card, or just something else, because we were never financially taught how to manage our money. And the thing is, most of the people who should be teaching us that don't know themselves. Yo, no one taught me anything about taxes. No one taught me anything about taxes. When I moved from Jamaica when I was 18. I was just coming up in the adulting world. And then I came here and I started working. No one said anything about tax. No one said, yo, this is how you do it, that's how you do it. Up to last year, I didn't pay my taxes, because I didn't know what to do. I'm always asking people and it's like, oh, I'll let you know. Or when tax season come around, I'll show you. And when tax season does come around and I remind them, I'm like, yo, how do I do this? How do I do that? What do I do? No one would pay me any mind. And it was because I decided that, yo, I'm tired of asking people and not getting any help, that I'll try to do it on my own. Last year, I tried to find my own things and it didn't go through. So this year I decided, yo, go to a professional, let them do it and let them explain it to me. And I sat there in the office while the guy filed my taxes and explained everything to me. Yo, I was waiting so long for my parents to teach me, to tell me about taxes. I was waiting so long for my friends to tell me about taxes. Most of us don't have any financial knowledge. If I ask some people what are stocks and ETFs, they have no idea. If I ask some people what's liability and what's assets, how do you get assets, how do you get liability, they have no idea. If I ask people about Liquid Millionaire, they couldn't tell me because most of us don't have any financial knowledge. And when you're trying to step up, when you're trying to learn, I used to read books about being rich. I remember I was at work one day, the first place I used to work. I think I was reading Think and Grow Rich or Rich Dad Poor Dad. And this old guy looked at me like, oh, you want to be rich? And I'm like, yeah, everyone wants to be rich. Because I was too self-conscious to say, yeah, I'm going to be rich. So I said, yeah, everyone wants to be rich. I was too self-conscious to say, yeah, I want to be rich. So I said everyone, I included him in it. But he didn't seem to care. He was fine. Not everyone wants to be rich, and I understand that. But most of us should at least have some financial knowledge so that we're able to pass it on to our kids, that they don't grow up in the same reality as us, so that they're not struggling to make ends meet, so that they're not struggling paycheck to paycheck. Because some young people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're in so much debt that they work overtime to make this amount of money. They work 2-3 jobs to make this amount of money, and it goes right back into paying off the debt, and the debt's hardly even moving. People take out brand new car knowing that they can't afford it just to show off, and put themselves in so much debt. And as I said, I'm going back to the 3 people before. I don't know what they did in their life. I don't know what they've been through. So I can't say for certain. I'm not bashing them, but I look at them as an example and say, I can't end up like this. Yeah, the food industry, the service industry is quick money. Like, you get cash every week or every 2 weeks, whenever. Your pay, you get a decent, as a matter of fact, it's not even a decent amount of pay. It's like minimum wage, just above minimum wage. But it's quick money. You're not doing this forever, bro. Like, at a certain point, I'm going to change from all of this. I'm starting to do it slowly and slowly. I was doing it slowly and slowly. And then I went backwards. I fall off. I went back to my old ways. I know I'm building it back up. My mindset is shifting, and that's the next thing too. You can't have a poverty mindset and think you're going to be rich. You can't see everyone around you struggling and adopt that mindset. Have that same struggling mindset and want to do better for yourself. It's not going to work. I'm going to make a video on this, but I'll say it now. I hear my stepmom and my dad said, you have to work twice as hard because you're black, or because you're a woman, or not me, but they were talking about someone else. Oh, the world doesn't reward you because you're a woman. And I'm like, with a mindset like that, everything you say is your reality. I didn't word it properly, but I'll make a video about that. But we need to actually become financially knowledgeable. We need to know what dividends are. We need to know what stocks and bonds are. We need to know how to invest. We need to know what are our assets and what's our liability. Because a lot of people don't know that their house is a liability. A lot of people don't know that their cars are a liability. If something's not helping you to produce money, something's not producing money for you, but it's taking away money from your pocket, it is a liability. A lot of people don't want to hear that. I know if I go to most people and say, your house is one of the worst things you could have ever bought, they look at me like an idiot. But it's the mindset. It's how we grew up. My generation, Gen Z, most of us don't know anything about money. Some people just want to party. I've seen it a lot. Some of us only want to party. Get up, play games, drink, smoke, party, have sex, and do it on repeat every day. And in a few years, when you're getting older, see that you wasted all your life. Like, yo, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have saved when I was younger. Saving's not going to make you rich. Yeah, it's gonna give you some money in your pocket, but it's not going to make you get rich. You have to learn how to invest. You have to learn how the market go. Yo, you have to learn what Wall Street is. You have to get in on Wall Street. I'm not talking physically, but I'm saying, yo, you have to know stuff like S&P 500. You have to know trading. Even if you're not trading, you have to know what is a portfolio. You have to have a portfolio. Just things like that, bro. But yo, this is my first financial video, which I like it. I'm very like broad with the stuff I know, and I want to give you everything. I give you guys motivational content, gym content, biblical Bible knowledge, because I'm a believer in God, very, very firm believer in God. I come to you guys even with my struggles. Although I know a lot of exoteric knowledge, whichever. So I come to you guys with that too. And yeah, so this is my first financial video, which, yeah, there's more to come. So look out for it. But that's the video for the day. Peace.